All right, welcome to Frenchie and the Coach. I'm Paul Monahan. I'm the coach. I wrote this book. It's called The Most Important Game: Play Better, Struggle Less, and Enjoy More. My partner, that's Justin French. You can call him Frenchie. Justin and I, we're going to spend a little time today. We're going to talk about the mental game dynamics as they show up in the big theaters, the big stages of golf. Frenchie, let's get right into it. By the way, look at the bucket hat. He's brought the hat.
I told you I'll bring out the old bucket here and there.
Love it.
Yeah, usually like on a golf course, just to look a little goofier, flip it up and really look like a you know what, but let's play. Let's go ahead. So yeah.
Well, you're a man from Arkansas. You can take the man out of Arkansas, but you can't take, I mean, I don't know. Is that even?
Well played. Yes, sir. Yes, you're correct.
That's all right. Well, listen, hey, I got to say this too. Like, come on, Red Van. This is 3 weeks in a row.
Oh, you are sporting. Yes.
With the Red Vanley. I mean, have you not tried the Red Vanley? Look at this. I mean,
I told you before we started recording, I said, man, you look good today. I ain't afraid to tell a man it looks good. You look good. And look, I've got a couple of those. They do fit well. I got some, I like all kinds of gear, but the Red Vanley shirts are nice. I got to agree.
I got to hand it to these folks. They are crushing it. And the shorts, the whole program. Thanks, Red Vanley. This moment brought to you by Red Vanley, or sort of by Red Vanley. But anyway.
You're doing that sponsor thing. I like it.
Exactly. I love what they're doing. Hey, let's dive in. Lots going on over Memorial Day weekend. I mean, there's so much going on. Even at the collegiate level, we got to talk a little bit about that. But I think PGA Tour is on your mind right this second, and the Byron Nelson. What do you got?
Yeah, the Nelson was, man, what a birdie fest like that. I just kept refresh the score. I gotta say, happy birthday to my wife. It was her birthday over the weekend. We had a great time. Got to hang out with some family and some friends. Really have fun, but did keep up on some golf. She's sweet enough that she lets me watch a little golf. So,
happy birthday, Miss Lindsay. Very nice.
We had a birthday, so she gets younger every year, not older. So that's a good thing.
100%.
But Birdie Fest, man, I just kept turning it on. like my takeaway from Sunday was like Siwoo and Scotty in the last group think they're good friends. You could tell they were comfortable in their pairing, which helps. Both those dudes, final group, shoot 65, great rounds. And what happened to them? They got smoked by a train named Wyndham. And I tell you what, man, he's been through some valleys, right? My boy Wyndham has been through some valleys lately. He'd been to the top of the hill, and then he looked over the edge and wanted to go back down to the valley, and he did that. And now he's kind of on his way back and shoots 60, and it looked so easy that it was like, man, these dudes. Here's my thing for the guys that are on it. They're so talented, first off, and have skills above what I do. But man, when they get going and get out of their own way, dude, that was fun. That was amazing to watch.
I know we talk about this concept of getting out of your own way, and it's one of these it's a little ethereal. It's like, I don't know, what does that even mean? Get out of your own way.
Yeah.
We just saw what it means.
Yeah, he proved what it means, and new putter, he's got a new caddy, he got a new putter, he got a new attitude, he's got all the new stuff. But having a hot putter, first off, he was making them from everywhere. Like when he makes the one down the hill on 16-ish somewhere on Sunday, breaking left to right 3 feet, and he's raising his putter when it's 4 or 5 feet away. He's like, oh, dude, that's going right in the middle. And it did. Like, I'm like, whoo, that feels good. And then he birdies 18 just to cap it all off and tell those guys behind him, hey, don't worry about what you're doing on this hole, because I already won. I'm gonna go get the check. So it was. I'm glad to see him back. I think there's some stuff we can talk about as we go here today that I've got some opinions on Wyndham and what he's doing. But awesome, awesome round.
Yeah, awesome round for sure. We've seen a lot of great golf this year and a lot of great players emerge. I mean, the Aaron Rice story, absolutely. I think that this was even what we saw on Sunday with Wyndham Clark, absolutely next level. So let's explore this, because I know that All right, Wyndham Clark, not I wouldn't say a great year so far, right? He's missed a bunch of cuts. He's only had 2 top 20s outside of the win at the Byron Nelson. So struggle, I think, would not be we wouldn't be too far off if we're saying struggle. I was texting with my buddy Tim Graves over the weekend, and he's like, "Yeah, Wyndham's gone through a dozen putters this year trying to get the right one. I think he found it." That was what
Yeah.
Tim said.
I hope
But
he doesn't do what some of my buddies do and then go switch it again, in 2 weeks.
okay, all right. That's such a good point. So let's talk about it seems like Wyndham has been in the desert a little bit. He had this thing last year where it's like the internal chaos, I think, for him that he goes through, like that came up at Oakmont and
Yeah.
what's talk about
Well,
the journey that Wyndham Clark has been on. Glad he's where he is for sure, but
yeah, so I have a little bit of maybe a different view on what he's gone through, or maybe other people share it, but, here's what I don't get with all of us, professional golfers included. Wyndham Clark wins a US Open, in LA. He reaches the pinnacle of the mountain, right? He wins a major, and he'd been playing incredible up until that. Had a really close friend as his caddy. He's been through a lot. I think he lost his mom in college, switched college, that we all saw the stories about Wyndham. He's been through some stuff,
no
which
doubt.
life hits all of us, by the way. I mean, that just we're guaranteed that. He's been through some stuff. He gets to the top of the mountain, and when you do that as a professional golfer, and I've seen this so many times, it's like, okay, now I've done that. Now I have to live up to that. And when I say that, now my attitude changes where I not only, okay, I just did everything that I've been working for forever. I got there. Now I have to go change. And that happens to so many golfers, Paul. I just don't get why it's our ego and our end. It's nothing to do with anyone else. Zero. Nobody else puts that on you. We do it to ourselves. And I don't understand always, like, when they get there, like, they're gonna go make a swing change, they're gonna go make a putter change, they have to do now I have to live up to what I've done. I have to be that person all the time now, that's not gonna happen in professional golf. It's not gonna happen in anything. So, I don't always understand, and you can probably help some more with this, is like, when I get there, when I make it, why do I have to go change? Why do I need to do that? So Wyndham, man, he's been battling his internal stuff. I mean, last year at Oakmont when he destroys the locker room, that's him. Nobody makes him do that. He was mad. He's mad at what he's showing the world and what he's supposed to show the world. So it
Mm.
comes out. That's what comes out, and that's all of us. I'm not pointing a finger at him by any means, because I think we all do this. And his just came out a little differently. Like when he got done on Sunday and was doing his interview, he thanked his sponsors for staying with him. That was a really cool moment. He was like, "Man, listen, yeah, it's been rough. I'm not proud of what happened last year." That was one of the first things he said. And he said, he points to his chest, he points to his hat, to his sleeve, all the NASCAR looking gear that they got on,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
thanks all of them. And, I think that's important for him to be like, "Hey, yeah, I own what I did." And now he's kind of coming back. I'm glad to see him coming out the other side and being who he is. I just don't always understand. I made it, and now I've got to change to be who everybody else thinks I am when you're still the same person.
No doubt. Why isn't enough for
Mhm.
these guys or even for us as we continue to, ad I would say, advance along our journey, right? Our
Yeah,
skill development journey.
that's a great way to put that. Why isn't enough enough? And, I think it's because we put our I think it's because we think we're gonna gain value in who we are when that happens, and that's not true.
Okay.
That's not where that comes from.
Yeah.
So we attach our value structure to what we accomplish, which what we accomplish is great, but that's not what defines who Wyndham Clark is. That's not what it is. And so I think that's the tension, is that now I've done what I think I'm supposed to do, so I should feel a certain way. Well, I still don't feel a certain way. It goes away quick. That win goes away fast. And so it's like, what am I gonna attach my value to? And it's not his score. That's not who he is. So I
Yeah.
think that really creates it just creates this the mice on the wheel in your brain all the time that like, "Oh, I'm supposed to be X, and I don't feel any different than I did before I won the US Open." So, yeah, I think there's more to that.
Yeah, I mean, look, and I always say this too. I spend a lot of time writing about, talking about, doing these podcasts, and just to be fair, so that the listener understands. A lot of time, I'm just guessing, right? In fact, most of the time, I'm just guessing. Yeah, I'm not in somebody's head, But there definitely are some signals, and the waters that I swim in, and all this too, Frenchie, that it's it's easy to see and understand what and guess what people might be going through based on how they show it, based on their behavior. And look, there's a guy out there, and you can check out his work. He's a really interesting guy, Matthew Lieberman. He's done first level research on how the brain works and how we all work as humans and so forth. And he says like one of our superpowers is reading minds. Kind
Oh,
of, it's a little tongue in cheek, but
sure, yeah,
right? I mean, human beings, like we can read minds a little bit. And the way we do that, if you hadn't thought about it before, it's just how does somebody tilt their head when they're talking to you? The frown on their face. When they go and they destroy a locker room, we have a sense for that they might be going through something up here.
yeah,
And so that caveat aside, it's like, yeah, like these, we all strive. I think striving is great. But to your point, at the end of it, as soon as we attach our self-concept to our score, things get really tough. And I think, you've heard me say this before, but like, yeah, you're not your score. We got to figure out a way to play this game, enjoy this game. Yes, excel at the game because we're human beings. And by the way, excelling at things is in our nature.
totally, and
Great.
yeah,
But we have to be able to separate our score from our self-concept and our identity.
yeah, and just like I've really tried to enjoy the process, of getting better and like having some small goals or having things where you can't really you can measure it by your score, but that's not always fair because sometimes you'll shoot 80 when you hit the ball well, just didn't make any putts or get a couple bad breaks. Sometimes you'll shoot 68 when you're like, man, I hit it all over the lot, but I rolled in a bunch of putts today, type thing. So it's like the outcome doesn't always fit what's coming out of you. So yeah, I just think that it's fun to watch these guys. They are human beings at the core of all of this, and I think sometimes they're human beings that are really good at golf. Every one of them. If you're on the PGA Tour, I think I looked, 80 dudes have won $1,000,000 already this year, and it's May.
Yeah.
Look, there's a reason why this is their life. It's not a hobby. They're not out there like me and you trying to get better at golf, hitting balls a couple, 3 times a week. It's their life. And it's really
Yeah.
hard for them sometimes, I think, to take away "This is what I do for a living. This is my life. This is my identity." That's really tough. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it
I,
it's,
I
it's cool to watch them go through the valley and come out the other side. I'm happy for Wyndham Clark. Super happy for him.
I mean, super happy to see somebody achieve a level of peace. And that's, again, I'm guessing, I don't know, but it seems to me like, okay, he's achieved a level of peace. Like, and that's the most important thing. Like, we have to be at peace in our lives that we lead and in the games that we play. And if we can achieve that, then things come to us in new and fresh ways. And I think to see him at peace, and you made the point earlier about, hey, he says at the press conference afterward, he says, hey, last year was something I am not proud of. Right
Yeah,
now, imagine this. I don't know that I've ever heard him really talk about that before yet. And he's carrying that with him for almost a year.
yeah,
So there's two things going on. One is there's the frustration and the turmoil and the chaos, by the way, opposite of inner peace, that led to that moment. And then there's the guilt and shame where he's got to carry that for a year.
All of the above.
All of the above, and maybe I'm getting too a little too
No,
deep
no,
here in
you're on exactly the right. I mean, I think that's important for each one of us. Look, I the last, couple weeks have been we all have stuff going on, and I know that. Last couple weeks have been a little difficult. Had some family stuff with my mom going on, and then I had a good friend who lost a kid, and I got to play golf on Saturday, and it was really cool because I didn't have what you're talking about. I had some peace that I'm like, "Man, I'm super glad to just be on the golf course." And I played with gratitude all day. It was cool. I was with some friends, had a couple of beers, just a good time. And I get done, Paul. I hadn't played golf that well in a long time. Like I it was it was just kind of for our podcast and for what we talk about, I was like, "Man, I didn't worry about what anybody was thinking. I could care
Mm.
less." I really c I like I'm like, "I don't care if I hit it in those palmetto bushes over there. I could care less where the ball's gonna go. I'm gonna do my stuff, and I'm gonna try to be present," and I was, and it was really cool, and it's just like, we don't know what all they're going through in their personal lives and stuff because they are human beings, but if you can just figure out a way to be like, "Hey, let's just quiet down some of that ego noise that we get trying to prove who we are, and just get stuck in some processed thoughts and keep it really, really simple." Then it seems like golf, it's not always gonna work perfect, but it can get better, and then our thoughts can get better. So I just from a personal standpoint, I was kinda it's funny, we're doing this and we talk about it all the time, and I actually used it. I was like, "Man, that's crazy." So,
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, I think our mission here is to be useful, right? I mean,
I
it
hope so.
seems like a low bar, but could we just be useful?
It just find it useful. Yeah, I like that.
I know, it's so good. That's so
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I think that this idea of being at peace, I think it shifts expectations as well. And I think that's a big one where we all are like, I practiced 3 times this week. I should be able to break par," or, whatever version of that. This may be I practiced every day this week, and this has gotta be the week that I break 80. Well, that's not how any of this works, and so we just have to show up. I'll tell you what, I have stopped asking the question of the clients that I work with. I've stopped asking them after a round of golf. I've stopped asking them, "How did it go?" The very first question I ask, "What did the game teach you today?"
Mm, okay.
That's
Yeah.
all we need to understand is we're gonna go out and we're gonna play a game today, and this game's gonna teach us something, and if we can open our eyes to it and be in a state where we can learn, that's about all we need, and enjoy and right, all that stuff comes and
Yeah,
follows that.
just appreciate where we're at and what we're getting to do, getting to play a game that does teach us a whole lot. It's taught me a ton in my life. It's it's created, lifelong friendships for me. It's created new like, as I've gotten older, I've gotten the ability to meet a ton of people through golf. I mean, I think we have to sometimes step back and think, "Okay, this is a great game that we get to play." And it teaches us a ton of stuff about life. It mirrors life in a lot of ways, but it just provides so many things for us that I think we forget about sometimes, because it is a frustrating game, and you are gonna hit bad shots, and you are gonna get goofy breaks, all of those things, but we have to also step back and go, "Hold on a minute. It's providing a lot for my enjoyment of life." So, yeah, without golf, you and I don't meet, like that sort of thing. So, there's just a lot that comes from it, and I think we forget sometimes that that stuff comes from it.
Yeah, no question. It's so much bigger, so much bigger. Um, it makes me think also, there's one thing too, as we talk about the Wyndham Clark win, this idea of pursuit versus avoidance kinda comes up for me, and I think that that's a huge lesson, that's a huge takeaway. Like, I would say that if you saw him play on Sunday, what was absolutely remarkable was that there was no, I didn't see a moment in his round on Sunday, and I saw a lot of his shots. I didn't see a moment where he was tentative or he wasn't absolutely committed and purposeful and taking on the target. And I don't mean hitting down pins. Now he hit a few really close shots, like that shot on 18. Like, but he could almost jarred it, for a 59. Like that'd have been insane, right?
Looked like it was going in, yeah.
Right. So, but this idea of, okay, yes, he's at peace for sure. It allows him to be present and stay in pursuit. And the reason that's important is because the opposite of that is avoidance. And we've all played with this mentality of avoiding the bunkers, avoiding the creek, avoiding the trees, avoiding this, avoiding that. And I think the shift can be subtle but extremely important. You look at just I mean, let's go to the video here. I mean, look at this. He putted, like, pick any hole, right? What hole is this? This is
Doesn't matter, he made them all.
he made them all. I mean, like, he's just absolutely. So I think that was that the eagle putt? Yeah, that was the eagle putt on 12. He
Just keep
right?
rolling. Just keep rolling, he keeps making them.
Just
You don't
keeps
have
rolling. Let's go here. Let's
Now,
go. Look at this one.
this putt right
Right?
here, I love this putt. I mean, it breaks 3 feet right. It's down over that swale, and right there, he's raising his putter like, "Yep,
He's
that's right."
raising, he's walking. He's like, oh yeah, another one. It's just the
George
game
George
just,
that one too. Yep.
and notice how the game just became so easy for him. And he's just absolutely in pursuit and he's not avoiding. And I think that's a huge takeaway for those of us who we don't practice a ton. We certainly don't play as much as these guys do. And we can get really caught up in the stuff that's on the course that we think can get us into trouble.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
doesn't mean like don't pay attention to what's on the course. It just means like you got to put your focus on certain things, and you got to be in pursuit. And I guess I'll kind of wrap my thoughts on this. I want to go to, we got to talk about Siwoo on
yeah,
Friday, right? One of the biggest stories for sure.
yeah,
And he's kind of incredible because he's got 3 holes to go. All he has to do is shoot 1 under and he gets his 59, right?
yeah.
So we know what happens, right? He pars 16, he birdies 17, boom, he's got it, right? And then what happens,
He
right?
makes me on 18, yeah.
Makes bogey on 18. And look, I think fantastic drive on 18. He gets into trouble. Watch, let me see if I got this video here. Let's go here. He gets into trouble, pulls it left and long on 18.
Yeah,
And look, he's just got to get up and down, right? And this was a dicey little, I mean, this is not I wouldn't say it was an easy chip, but I think he'd like to have this back. We go to the video here. This is him on 18. He's got to make this, he's got to get up and down. And, I think he'd like to have that back. What do you think?
well, I think he'd like to have it back. I think he'd like to have the shot in the fairway back, first off. You get it. I think you get in that spot. His adrenaline was probably pretty amped up. He's gonna shoot, those guys don't get the opportunity to shoot 59. That's happened a handful of times on tour. So, he knows where he's at. He knows what's at stake, and I think it's hard to control your heart rate, your adrenaline, all those things that he doesn't get that often, and so he'd like to have both of those shots back if he had the opportunity, to be like, "Okay, hold on, let's try to get as calm as we can. Let's not try to just kill something here. Let's maybe chip a little, take the next iron down and chip it in there as opposed to full out swinging something." I don't know what he hit, but yeah, I think he'd like to have those back. 60's pretty good. I'm just gonna tell you
Well, yeah.
that.
Yeah, and check out, by the way, look at this is his fairway shot on 18.
I didn't see the walkthrough. Holy
Look at
smoke.
that. Isn't that crazy? So
He's playing with Scotty. He's starting to develop some of his traits, man.
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he doesn't need. I mean, I thought he did something there he just didn't need to do, and I think
Oh,
that's a
that's
hidden
quite a
pulse in my mind. What do you think?
He's done that all year, I bet you. I would almost guarantee you I haven't seen him step through on a shot all year. So, yeah, his body was doing some stuff he wasn't used to, and that's, that's just that ceiling we all bump up against when we're like, "Oh, I got a chance to do X," and then how do we handle that, you know? So, it's a lesson for all of us is like, for Siwoo, "Hey, don't change what you do. Guess what? You've gotten to 11 under.
Right.
Let's go do what we do. Let's not change that." And then he didn't have any control over that. He probably felt like usually when you step through or you hold the club up, you felt like you didn't control the club face very well. So he's trying to do that with his body like, "Oh boy, that's going long and left. I'm gonna try to keep that from doing that." So, yeah, I hadn't seen that step through. That's kinda crazy.
It is kind of interesting because the shot on 17, the par 3, where he actually birdies,
Yeah.
right? He definitely, he actually he kinda cooks it, right? Um, let's see if I've got that. He kinda cooks the shot on yeah, this is on 17. Here we go. Which means he's got the adrenaline going, right? So
Yeah.
let's see here. Here we go. Honestly, he almost hits an absolutely perfect shot, but it just doesn't trickle down enough. Had he landed that maybe about 10 feet closer, 5 feet closer, now it trickles down. Now he's
Yeah.
gotta make that putt. Now, kudos on him, he makes a brilliant putt and
Yeah.
gets birdie.
Just had I mean, look, that was probably, 10 yards farther than he was planning on hitting it, be my guess.
I think you're right. I think
Yeah.
you're right. He'd have liked to hit that closer.
Well, he
Now,
just jumped
here's
up.
the interesting thing because 'cause we're talking about pursuit versus avoidance, and I'll go back to my buddy Tim Graves. He and I were texting, and Tim says, "Hey, worst thing that ever happens to Siwoo on Friday is that he birdies 17."
Well, now he's out of pursuit. Now he wants to avoid making bogey on
Dude,
16.
right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it right there. So the big lesson is, hey, no matter what's happening, you gotta be in pursuit. You gotta be in pursuit. You gotta be committed to the target and the target only and forget about the other stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the takeaway when you were talking about that just now about pursuit and, bunkers and water and all the stuff that presents itself on the golf course. We have to be aware they're there. Like, you actually need to acknowledge that that stuff's there. Like, standing on the tee or if you got a tuck pin or whatever it is, be like, "Oh, yeah, I see all that stuff, and I don't wanna hit it there." Okay, but that can't be your last swing thought. That
Well,
can't be, "I don't wanna hit it." Yeah, like, if that's what you think, that's where it's going. So we have to, like, I understand that's there. Now what do I wanna do? And then get in your process and work through what you do wanna do, and that's the switch you're talking about, avoidance to pursuit. It's like you can physically do that, and you probably teach this, and I know you do. Okay, we wanna avoid X, great, but we wanna pursue Y. And we're gonna pursue that in our process that we do and the stuff that we work on all the time. Once we get into that, that stuff's gone. I'm not thinking about it anymore. I'm thinking about where I do want it to go. And so, yeah, you're exactly right. That's pretty wild when he did make birdie that his mindset probably flipped to, "Uh-oh, I got a chance to shoot 59. All I gotta do is noodle this down there a couple times and make me a par, and I'll move on." So, when his brain should have said, "I can shoot 58."
hey, why not? Why
Yeah,
that's totally, absolutely a possibility and a way, and it's almost like a hack, right? It's like,
yeah,
"Hey, what would it take to shoot 58 here?" Without getting
yeah,
crazy, right?
yeah.
So, yeah,
Pretty
good
cool. Hey,
stuff.
before we get off here today, I gotta shout out Reagan Zabilski, who's been on our podcast and her Razorbacks, man. Finished 3rd in the national championships as a team. Regs finished tied for 8th individually, and they've moved on to match play. Top 8 starts today, so rooting for my girl Reagan and her Razorbacks today. I hope they play well.
Well, 100% and super exciting. She had a great day. She had a great weekend, right?
We
S
Yeah,
Posted some really good scores. It's match play today, so long day for everybody out there in, at La Costa
the
in
cop
Carlsbad.
Yeah, it looks like they've got that thing set up, man. It's fun to kinda it's been there a few years now. It's kinda cool to watch it over and over and see the way they have it set up. So, yeah, just rooting for them today and Reagan, what a cool girl. Just rooting for her that she plays well.
No doubt, no doubt. Great stuff. All right, well, listen, we covered a lot today as, maybe more than we try,
Yeah,
or than we normally try, so,
yeah, bit off a little more today. So,
it's
yeah,
alright, it's alright. You know, I think the idea here is let's hit a couple things and see if we can create some takeaways and be useful and, with the information, right? So
right. That's right.
great stuff today, Justin. Hey, just for the listeners, the viewers, hey, if you like what we're doing, let us know. Send this to somebody you think needs to hear this. Give us a like. Definitely subscribe to the podcast here, and you'll get notifications on when we drop new ones. We try and drop them every week, and get you to a point where you're playing a little bit better, struggling a little bit less, and at the end of the day, enjoying the game a lot more. So that's
Amen.
the
Yep.
program.
Yeah. Sounds good. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, Justin. See you, buddy.
Take care.